Jeff's Superscript is brought to you by Black Cat Comics and Collectibles, in my opinion, the best comic shop and clubhouse on the internet. Make sure to follow them at Black Cat Burbank on Instagram and ask them about their Stray Cats Club for special perks. Hi, I'm Jeff, and welcome to another one of my videos where I take a look at all of my picks that deserve a little bit of extra special attention for comic books that are hitting Final Order Cutoff this upcoming weekend, June 27th and 28th, 2021. There are a decent amount of books to get through this week, so I'm going to try to move through them as quickly as possible with as little commentary as I can possibly muster. Sometimes I can be a little long-winded, I'm working on it, but just know that if I don't mention anything about a book, it might not be because I dislike it. It might just be because the description does everything that a description needs to do and tells you everything you need to know. All right, enough preamble. Let's jump in first by taking a look at our first book this week, which is Mom, or Mother of Madness, issue number 1 of a 3-issue limited series from Image Comics. Here's the description. Game of Thrones superstar Emilia Clarke debuts an extra-length 3-issue miniseries. The mayhem begins with Maya, under-the-weather scientist by day, over-the-top superhero by night, and badass single mom 24/7. Deadpool action and Fleabag comedy collide when Maya activates her freakish superpowers to take on a secret sect of human traffickers. Mature readers only. Comedy and chaos await in the first of 3 40-page issues by the glamorous artist of Horde, Layla Leiz, L-E-I-Z, whichever it is. All right, so Emilia Clarke, for those who don't know, is from Game of Thrones. She's the mother of dragons. She's the princess with the long white hair. Well, she's writing a comic book along with Marguerite Bennett. This is interesting to me. Not only does it sound like an interesting comic book and an interesting premise, but the fact that Emilia Clarke is writing it, I'm getting kind of like Keanu Reeves' Berserker vibes. Is she just teeing up something that's going to be optioned for herself in the future? I don't know, but frankly, it sounds like an interesting concept, a fun read, and it's only 3 issues, so it's a low commitment. I'm going to add this one to my poll. The next book I want to mention is a book called Siphon, issue number 1 of a 3-issue limited series, also from Image Comics. Here's the description. When a fast-living EMT is entrusted with the power to sense and siphon pain from others, Silas is presented with a new purpose, to ease the misery of those around him. But the more he uses this gift, the more it curses him with carrying the burdens of others' pain. And it soon attracts the attention of mysterious forces who covet the power for themselves, forcing Silas to decide whether he will continue his mission or revert to his old ways. Comic book documentarian Patrick Meany teams up with artist Jeff Edwards with a story by Mohsen Ashraf for a creator-owned noir fantasy. All right, sounds interesting to me, but not quite as interesting as the previous book. If it sounds more interesting to you than it does to me, you might want to add it. Otherwise, we will just move on to the next book, which is Tales from Harrow County, Fair Folk, issue number 1 of a 4-issue limited series. Here's the description. Harrow County is back. The award-winning Eisner-nominated Southern Gothic horror series returns with a brand new story. Fresh off the loss of her goblin friend to a strange portal, Bernice must weigh her responsibilities as protector of Harrow County with her desire to get her companion back safe and sound. But the past weighs heavily, and the fair folk use Bernice's and her memories against her. And something more disastrous than she could have feared may be around the corner to threaten both the worlds of humans and of Haints. Eisner nominee for Best New Series. I'm sure that's the original Harrow County. I don't know much about this story from the first original Harrow County, but you throw at me words like Eisner nominated, and I see writer Cullen Bunn, which is just like, he just writes every other book that's out there. It's at least interesting. I don't know if there's spec potential there because it's just a continuation of the story that's already out there, but if you did read the original story and you're interested in reading more, you might want to add this to your poll. The next book I want to mention to you is a book called Bermuda, issue number 1 of a 4-issue limited series from IDW Publishing. Here's the description. Presenting a fantastic new adventure by New York Times bestselling and multiple Eisner Award-winning writer John Layman, and eye-popping, mind-blowing art by Nick Bradshaw. There's a region of the Atlantic Ocean where planes disappear, ships are lost, and traveling souls go missing, never to be heard from again. And there's an island within this place, mysterious and uncharted, untouched by time and civilization, where all who are lost end up human or other. Bermuda lives here. She's 16, scrappy, and living on this insane and wondrous jungle island, fighting at every turn to survive, is the only life that she has ever known. She can handle the dinosaurs, the pirates, the crazed soldiers, dark magicians, and strange monsters. But the weird new kid who washes ashore just may be the biggest challenge Bermuda has ever faced as he drags her along on a perilous rescue mission she wants no part of, and he's likely to be the death of both of them. All right, well, IDW is an all-ages / kid-friendly publisher, and along those lines, this sounds like a good all-ages / kid-friendly book. So if there is a younger person in your life, you might consider steering them in the direction of this title, but nothing against you if you're an older person like me and decide to check it out as well. The next book I want to mention to you is Amazing Fantasy number 1 of a 5-issue limited series from Marvel Comics. Here's the description. Experience these heroes like never before. Red Room, Black Widow, Teenage Spider-Man, World War II Captain America, the most iconic versions of your favorite Marvel characters from across time and space all wake up on an island of intrigue, darkness, and amazing fantasy. Are they dead? Are they dreaming? Or have they been transported to another fantastical realm? And is there any way for them to return home? This isn't just a love letter to your favorite Marvel eras. It's a reinvestment in the seminal characters you've always loved, plucked from their quintessential timelines. Brought to you by Carr Andrews, this is one you've been waiting for, true believers. It's one amazing fantasy for the ages. Yeah, so it's interesting to take Black Widow, Spider-Man, and Captain America from the eras that I guess they're most famous for and put them on this island kind of out of time and out of space and put them on this adventure. If you're a big Marvel fan and a big fan of these characters, this is absolutely for you. I'm a big Marvel fan, but even still, I'm not like chomping at the bit to read this story. But if you're into all things Marvel, this sounds like it could be a lot of fun for you. The next book I want to mention is Extreme Carnage Phage, issue number 1 from Marvel Comics. The description reads, Flash Thompson is back. After the shocking revelations of Extreme Carnage Scream, Carnage sets its sights on the Phage symbiote. Carnage isn't the only familiar face on the board, though. After a rendezvous with his student, Andy Benton, Flash Thompson is back and ready for a fight. All right, well, this continues the tie-ins to this Extreme Carnage mini-event that's happening in Marvel. All of these events, it's a lot. But if you're a big symbiote fan, you're going to want to pick up all of these and read this story. I am not a big enough fan that I'm going to jump on board with this, but I wanted to make sure it was on your radar. The next book I'm going to mention is Moon Knight, issue number 1 from Marvel Comics. Here's the description. I am Moon Knight. The mysterious Mr. Knight has opened his midnight mission, his people petitioning for protection from the weird and horrible. The Moon Knight stalks the rooftops and alleys marked with his crescent moon tag, bringing violence to any who would harm his people. Mark Spector, in whichever guise he dons, is back on the streets, a renegade priest of an unworthy god. But while Khonshu languishes in a prison that Moon Knight put him in, Moon Knight must still observe his duty, protecting those who travel at night. Let it be known, Moon Knight will keep the faith. All right, well, we all know that there's a Moon Knight television show coming. Moon Knight is a character that is heating up because of that, and it is only understandable that Marvel is going to be putting out a new Moon Knight series in comic form to capitalize on the popularity that the character is getting around the excitement of the Moon Knight television series that is coming. If you're excited about the television series that's coming, or if you just love this character, or if you want to check out this character but from the beginning of something in comic book form, this might be a book for you. The next book I want to mention to you is Star Wars War of the Bounty Hunters, Jabba the Hutt, issue number 1 from Marvel Comics. Here's the description. Jabba never forgives, Jabba never forgets. Jabba the Hutt is one of the most powerful and ruthless gangsters in the galaxy, and Boba Fett, his most trusted bounty hunter, has failed him. How will Jabba deal with betrayal? Violently. And what does this have to do with a bounty hunter with ties to the High Republic? Justina Ireland and Lucia Pizzari's Hutt-Size Spectacular is the first of 4 action-packed War of the Bounty Hunters tie-ins about the criminal underworld's most notorious hunters and scoundrels, all told by the best Star Wars writers and illustrators in the galaxy. Alright, as if this War of the Bounty Hunters, a special event in the Star Wars universe of Marvel Comics, wasn't big enough already, crossing over every Star Wars title that there is from Marvel Comics right now for months to come. They also have 4 tie-ins, and this is the first one of those. I have to admit, I haven't been reading all the tie-ins. I have been reading the War of the Bounty Hunters just main title, following Boba Fett himself. I find it interesting. I find it enjoyable. So I have nothing against anybody that's going after everything that has to do with this story. It's just a lot. But if you're one of those people, if you're a big Jabba the Hutt fan, or if you want to just get as much of this story as possible, the first of the tie-ins is hitting Final Order Cutoff this upcoming Monday. The next book I want to mention to you is a book called Dark Blood, issue number 1 of a 6-issue limited series from Boom Studios. Here's the description. What if you were given the power to change the course of history? Alabama, 1955. Avery Aldridge is an ordinary young black man, a decorated World War II veteran. Avery provides for his wife and daughter. The wounds of the past have a way of coming back, and Avery Aldridge will soon discover he is anything but ordinary. After a run-in awakens strange new abilities, Avery's about to become more powerful than he could have ever dared to dream, in a country and society that never wanted him to have any power. A bold, evocative, genre-bending saga by screenwriter LaToya Morgan and rising star artist Walt Barna, perfect for fans of Department of Truth and Bitter Root. Well, in typical fashion, they named some really hot titles there at the bottom to try to catch your attention. Department of Truth caught my attention, but the rest of the description did not. Bitter Root as well. I'm not reading Bitter Root, but there's a lot of good buzz out there on that title. This one doesn't particularly interest me from a description standpoint, but that doesn't mean it won't interest you, and that is why I wanted to point out that it is hitting Final Order Cutoff coming up this weekend. The next book I want to mention to you is a book called Possessive, issue number 1 of a 3-issue limited series. This is from Xenoscope Entertainment, Inc. Here's the description. Let's not mince words. Todd's a loser. He has no job, no prospects, and almost no drive. With his wife ready to take the children and go, Todd buys the family their dream home. Todd takes a chance on a house that needs much more upkeep than a few coats of paint and new carpet. And little does Todd know, in the attic resides a terrifying and deadly spirit who does not do well with cohabitation. But while this frightening specter may have murderous tendencies, she might just be what Todd needs to turn his life around. Forgetting Sarah Marshall meets The Grudge. You know you're in for a hell of a ride. From the comedic and possibly unhinged minds of Adam F. Goldberg and Hans Rodionoff comes this offbeat love story that will warmly haunt the very depths of beating and non-beating hearts alike. All right, the thing that is most interesting to me about this premise, although it sounds fun and funny and entertaining, is that it's written in part by Adam F. Goldberg. I know who Adam F. Goldberg is because I just happen to be a fan of the television show The Goldbergs. The Goldbergs is his television show. He created it. It's about his childhood. He's also created and worked on many other television shows, but The Goldbergs is probably the premier one. I like The Goldbergs a lot. It pushes my nostalgia button as a kid of the 80s, but I also find it very funny. So if some of that funny is also in this book, that is interesting to me. So that's why I wanted to put it on your radar this week. The next book I want to mention to you is Blue and Gold, issue number 1 of an 8-issue limited series from DC Comics. Here's the description. Desperate to regain the spotlight, Booster Gold looks to attract the public's and Justice League's attention the same way any washed-up second-rate hero would: social media. The not-so-tech-savvy hero from the 25th century enlists the help of his best friend, Blue Beetle, who possesses both the money and the brains to help his old pal navigate the scary world of internet influencers. Watch out, evildoers. Our heroes are live and online. Don't miss Dan Jurgens' triumphant return to Booster Gold with the help of all-star artist Ryan Sook, telling a tale filled with heart and maybe even redemption for DC's 2 favorite underdogs. I don't know. I know very little about both of these characters, and neither of them are very interesting to me, and so neither is this book. But if these are characters that you like and enjoy, and it could be fun, it does sound like a fun title, that might be a reason for you to pick it up. The next book I want to mention to you is Count Draco, Knuckle Duster, issue number 1 from Black Caravan. Here's the description. The curse of the crypto-crystalline stone continues in 2021. Follow the cosmic ghoul warrior and young psychic Aceli Aregio as they embark on the next chapter of an adventure that will take them from the vastness of the void to the depths of an aquatic moon crawling with fantastic creatures. This action-packed tale of sinister celestial sorcery picks up where last year's smash hit Phantom Starkiller left off. This time around, the story is told from behind the mask of the mysterious and malevolent Count Draco, Knuckle Duster, and his cybernetic chrononautical exosuit. Can the curse be broken in time, or is it already too late? Find out in the all-new psychedelic sci-fi horror odyssey from creator-writer Peter Gorel and artist Joseph Schmalke. All right, so Phantom Starkiller was a book that I know very little about, but there was a lot of buzz around it, and people were really interested in it, and the first issue came out with print after print after print. So if you liked Phantom Starkiller, you probably are going to want to pick up this book as well. Or if you missed out on Phantom Starkiller and just the craziness of that description appeals to you, you might want to consider picking up Count Draco. The next book I want to mention to you is Legends of the Dark Knight, issue number 3 from DC Comics. Here's the description. Bad Night, Good Night draws to its epic conclusion. Time runs out, and Riddler's new partner, Quiz, captures Batman. The Dark Knight must make a deal with this deadly duo to escape and stop the mysterious gas mask salesman disrupting the Gotham Underground from selling to one of the city's most dangerous villains, the Scarecrow. All right, the reason to pay attention to this book is this character, Quiz, Riddler's partner here on the cover of the A cover. She appeared at the very end of issue number 2 for a few panels and then like a full page, splash page where she introduced herself in grand fashion. It's very possible that issue number 2 is going to be considered her first appearance. But in a world where we debate between the first appearance of Wolverine being either Hulk 180 or Hulk 181, it's very possible that they will say the first appearance of Quiz is in issue number 2. But it might also be the first full appearance in issue number 3, and issue number 2 is a cameo. Regardless, Batman villains are ones to pay attention to. She's going to be on the cover of the A cover, so that's a first cover appearance at the very least. And also, I usually don't mention these, but she's also going to be on this 1 in 25 Federici variant. If you have a hardcore spec on this character, you might want to see if you can maybe talk to your LCS into ordering this 1 in 25 for you. All of this being said, I don't think that the issue number 2 is selling for more than cover price. So either people are completely ignoring this first appearance, or they are saving their money for issue number 3. Regardless, I wanted to put this on your radar. I will be picking up this book. I got issue number 2. I will be picking up issue number 3 as well. The next book I want to mention to you is Nightwing number 82 from DC Comics. Here's the description. Melinda Zuko's connection to the man who killed Dick Grayson's parents wasn't a surprise to the Blue Haven hero, but what the former Robin discovers about Melinda's ties to the Flying Graysons leaves the unusually upbeat detective speechless. Alright, I'm mentioning this Nightwing title for a few reasons. Nightwing 81 was a valuable book. It popped in value almost the day before it came out. For 2 reasons. One, it was the first full appearance of a new villain named Heartless, but also it was the reveal of information about this Melinda Zuko, which is pretty substantial in the world of Nightwing. So that book had a lot of value. I'm not saying that this book is going to have a lot of value as well, and I'm being vague about what that reveal is, just in case I don't do spoilers, just in case you ever want to check it out yourself. But basically, it's time to stop ignoring Nightwing. Ever since Tom Taylor and Bruno Redondo took over this book, I believe it's with issue number 78 or 79, one of those two, there's been a lot of buzz on this book. People are talking about this book. They're saying it's a lot of fun. They're saying the art is amazing, that the stories are exciting and entertaining. There's a lot of talk around Nightwing recently. So basically, I'm flagging this book because it seems to me like if you had ever had any interest in reading a Nightwing book, now is the time. Stop ignoring it. It's not just another peripheral Batman character. It seems like this book is really starting to heat up in its own right. The next book I want to mention to you is Shazam, issue number 1 of 4, also from DC Comics. Here's the description. Billy Batson came to Titan's Academy looking for answers. Why was the rest of his adopted family cut off from the power of Shazam? Why are his own powers becoming increasingly unreliable? The answers send Billy on an outrageous adventure that'll not only change him, but have the immense impact on the school and other students on Titan's Island. All right, Shazam is a character that is interesting to me. I don't know much about Shazam. I don't know that I've ever read a Shazam comic book beginning to end. But if I was a kid, or if I had a kid that I was interested in getting into comics, one of the characters that I would absolutely steer in their direction is Shazam. The idea of Billy Batson, this young person who can say Shazam and turn into basically Superman, is like total wish fulfillment for most small children. So that's why I wanted to point this out. It's a limited series. It's only 4 issues, so it's a low commitment. If you have a young person in your life that you want to send toward a comic book, this might be one to send them toward. The last book I'm going to mention today is Superman and the Authority, issue number 1 of a 4-issue limited series from DC Comics. Here's the description. Sometimes even Superman finds a task almost impossible. Sometimes even the last son of Krypton needs to enlist help. Some tasks require methods and heroes that don't scream Justice League. So Clark Kent, the Metropolis Marvel, seeks out Manchester Black, the most dastardly of rogues, to form an all-new authority tasked with taking care of some business on the sly. Not only will Black know the right candidates for the team, but if Superman can make him behave himself and act in service of the greater good, then he'll prove literally anyone can be a hero. They'll have to move quickly, however, as the Ultra-Humanite forms his own team to take out the Man of Steel. This new limited series helps launch an all-new Superman status quo, setting up story elements that reverberate across both Action Comics and Superman Son of Kal-El in the months to come. Not only is Superman putting together a superstar team, but it takes superstars to tell the tale. Grant Morrison and Mikel Janin Oh, that's them. Those are the superstars, and that's the end of the description. All right, this book sounds interesting to me. You know what? Superman almost never sounds interesting to me, but it seems like the people over at DC know that they need to shake up the world of Superman. And that's exactly what they're doing. And having Superman having to kind of align with a bit of a rogues gallery sounds like a pretty cool way to do it. To present challenges that Superman can't necessarily handle on his own or with the Justice League, that he needs help from, once again, some of the rogues to accomplish his tasks. That's interesting to me. So I'm really glad that they're shaking things up for Superman, and it seems like this would be a really great place, and possibly the only place, to get the Superman side of what is going to happen in that shakeup. So pretty cool, pretty interesting, especially for a Superman fan. Okay, that's it. There was a lot of books. I think there was like 15 or 16 of them this week. A lot better than last week's picks. So a lot to choose from, a lot to digest, a lot to consider. As always, I tell you all, congratulations for watching this video, and thank you so much for watching this video as well. FOC is power, and knowing this information and having your books reserved ahead of Final Order Cutoff is so liberating, instead of having to hunt down these books potentially on New Comic Book Day. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed this information. Likes are, of course, appreciated by me, and if you're not already a subscriber, your subscribing would be appreciated as well. Thank you all so much for watching this video. I will see you in the next one.